How's it going? Welcome to Good Company and welcome back to the Gigafactory. Today we have got a very exciting episode. We are using machines for the very first time and we are actually making a fully automatic enhanced case production facility. So very exciting stuff. Before we do that though, I just increased the production on the machine parts themselves and also swapping over our integrated circuit manufacturer to use these pick and place machines. Now these pick and place machines will make 100 integrated circuits every day. So we've got 6 of them, that's 600 a day. And I'll tell you now, this is nowhere near enough. I said this a few episodes ago, but the integrated circuits, it's absurd how many you need. And like I said, 6 pick and place machines, 600 a day is nowhere near close enough. And well, the component manufacture place in general just isn't up to task. I thought it would be because we packed a lot of stuff into that little area, but that changes a lot. So a little sneak peek into the future actually with the component manufacture area. It spreads out over 4 rooms in the end, and I still don't know if that's good enough for production, but that is a thing for the future. Right now we are actually just going to move on to making the enhanced case machine. It's going to be fully automatic, no logistics employees are going to be involved in placing things into machines. Everything's going to come from one shelf and then the enhanced cases are going to end up on another shelf. So we are using these small case machines. They fit very nicely together like Tetris blocks, so you can make quite a compact design. And well, the enhanced case, it takes wooden sundries, plastic case and metal, and then the plastic case just uses plastic. It was a little bit tricky to figure out because the inputs of the machines are at opposite ends. You can see it makes like a nice little modular block there, and you know what, I like the old modular block design because you make one thing and then you can replicate that over again. But like I said, it was a little bit tricky to try and get the correct materials into the right inputs and then also allow the outputs to flow as well. But this is what the game is about. It's how to figure out how to do this and make it efficient, make it look good. Well, you don't have to make it look good. I think messy stuff looks good in this game as well. So conveyor belts going left, right, up, down, backwards, forwards, all over the place. Looks good. But it's a case of just trying to get things to the right place. The new splitters and mergers make things so much easier. I'm coming from like the early access days where we didn't have splitters and mergers and the conveyor belts weren't very good. So to make like a splitter back in the day, we had to put a shelf down and then have retrievers coming off that. Which, as you can see, the very top of the room, to like the left of the room, I've put a shelf down, and that is because I was going to use the old tactic of creating a splitter. However, I realised we've got splitters now, so we don't have to. We don't have to do that. So just moving the machines as far back into the room as possible, just because I wanted to do 4 modules basically. Let's call it a module. So 2 machines is going to be a module. So I want to do 4 modules and hopefully that would give us enough production. I think it actually overproduces in the end, but we like overproducing. So I'm not too fussed about that. So plastic is just going into the first machine and then out the other end pops the plastic case. And then from that very first splitter, just allowing the wooden sundries and the metal to go straight through and then into the merger at the end. So that will then flow into the enhanced case, and you can see I'm getting a little conveyor belt hopper. What do we call that? An overhead segment, a hopper. What am I calling it a hopper for? So it allows product to flow out of the back. And then we're going to have basically another conveyor belt just put in the enhanced cases onto that final shelf. And it was a really good little project to start with, and I would recommend doing things like this to begin with. So nothing too complicated, but still makes your brain work, trying to figure out which way things go. and it really did help in the future when we actually move on to doing some really complicated stuff with the machines. Like, we've got stuff going all over the place, and well, it is, I'm not gonna lie, I impressed myself with it. I look at it now, what we've got, and I can't tell how it works, but going for it and trying to figure out the little tiny bits was very satisfying, let's say that. So just trying to troubleshoot some of the splitters, I realized things weren't going forward, and I wasn't sure what it was. So I just went through deleting segments and re-adding, hoping things would figure themselves out, and they do eventually. However, there are easier ways of troubleshooting, which again, a little project like this does help you out with figuring out what is actually going wrong and how to fix it. So it's normally just a case of removing directions and making sure things aren't backed up. But I think we'll talk about that a little bit later when we get to the more complicated machines. So I did have to do a little bit of rearranging on the conveyor belts there because I needed to fit the other two modular machines in. I did play with flipping them around the other side so the plastic would go into the back, but it didn't really work out, so I had to go for the exact same design and figure out the conveyor belts. I do actually run into a little bit of trouble trying to get things routed out of the machines and back in, but we figure out eventually, and it's not ideal, and this will change. In fact, it does change, but that's a long way in the future. But for now, it works, and it works really well. So this is where the trouble came in, because I need to get plastic into that machine, that last machine, but also at the same time get the enhanced case from the first machine on the left out and onto the shelf. But at the same time, I didn't want to bring the shelves forward anymore because they would have just protruded into the walkways a bit too much, and also I didn't want the storage segment on the side of the shelf because I thought that looked a little bit weird. However, it was the only thing we could do in the end. There was no way of us getting that any way else, so that's what we went for in the end. I thought, you know what, we're going to spend like another half an hour trying to figure it out, and it's physically impossible, so what's the point? It does do overproduction, like I said before, which is good. However, it does tend to scale with the production of the assembly room, which is a very unexpected thing. So as you can see, all four of the machines are working now, and that produces loads of those cases, and it just fills up that shelf very, very quickly, and the machines basically just stop working because they've got nowhere to put the enhanced case. And I thought at the start, when I first saw it, that it was a problem, that I had done something wrong and none of the machines now worked, and it was a complete disaster. I'd have to redo it. However, when the production of the assembly room goes up, we do add more tables in the future. Each of the modules that we've just placed down kick into action. So like I said, it scales to match the outgoing product. So as soon as space becomes available for the machines to work on, it will just kick in, it will just work, and once you set it up, you just can leave it, and it's all sorted. So just adding some more screens. I think they're the 16 segment displays to our audio visual department, and this is really the start of us not producing enough. I know we did overproduce to start with, but we want to scale up rapid with the small case handheld product stuff, because I just want to get that bit done and finalized, so we know, well, I just want to move on from that. Basically, I want to get onto the bigger products, because that's going to give us more money, and it's going to allow us to do more things in the future as well. Did do pretty well on the assignment. That was just the proximity sensors, and then again just going around the factory and just checking stuff. So here is the integrated circuits, and here is the final enhanced case machine. So thank you for watching, thank you to Workforce, stay safe, have fun, I'll see you on the next one.